am in the Zocalo of Puebla, Mexico, which is always fun because when you live down here, the Zocalo, every town's got a Zocalo, but the Zocalo is basically the town center, the town square, and that's what this is. And everybody just hangs out, walks around. This is the afternoon. Everybody's relaxing. No one's having a problem. Yeah, I'd just like to come down here. My wife is running errands, so I decided I'd come down here with her, and we ran a few errands this morning. And while I got free time, I figured I'd walk around and show everybody what it's like living in Puebla. But this is the downtown area. This is as downtown as it kind of gets, right? And you'll notice all these tents. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But this is what we do. If it's a lazy afternoon and you just want to go and chill out and relax and just be amongst people, you come down here and you walk around and you sit down, you have an ice cream, you have a coffee, you get something to eat. Now we'll go on the exterior, show you all the restaurants and everything. But this is Puebla. Well, it's not all of Puebla. Puebla's a pretty large city, let's face it. It does have industrial areas or business areas or corporate offices and areas like that, like Volkswagen is down here. There's a huge German population down here. You might not see it. Now, you'll notice that I don't look like anybody that's hanging out here. I am as white as they can be. And as white, so everybody just assumes I'm an American, which I am. So if you hear someone yell gringo, they're probably talking to me. Not that they know my channel or anything like that, it's just that's what they call Americans. We're gringos. So, with that, yeah, got the fountain. Now, I'll give you the layout here. So, that gray building, the big gray stone building with the green awnings and everything over there, those are the green tarps over the windows. That is City Hall. That's where the governor is. And underneath there's some banks and other things like that, a museum. And you got hotels with restaurants down below. All sorts of side streets you go down. They have markets and things like that. When I say markets, I mean antique markets, things like that. Right there, that giant building, which we will go in front of in a little bit, that is probably my favorite building in all of Puebla. It is the Cathedral of Puebla, the Catholic Cathedral. When we go inside, you'll understand why. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, these white tents aren't normally here, so you'll see them lined all the way up and all the way down that road. Now, most of these side roads are usually closed. The only road that's usually open is that one right over there. So, and then you can get tour buses over here, right? But those white tents, it is the book fair. It is the summer book fair for Puebla, and it's free. So we'll probably just take a quick walk through it now. 99.5% of what you're going to find in there is in Spanish. I don't read Spanish. It's one thing I do miss about the United States. Bookstores. Used to love going into bookstores, grabbing me a few books and having some fun reading. So whenever I get back to the States, one of the things I do, or make sure that I do, is get a bookstore. But you can see it's nice and clean. Kids are playing. No worries, right? It's kind of a different Mexico than what people get in the United States news, northern Mexico where all the problems are. And, but yeah. And you'll see people look at me, they're like, why are you doing filming? Because it's fun. And that's what I do. But yeah, the Cathedral of Puebla is right there. So if you want a tour bus right over there, I've never done the tour buses. I have my wife. She grew up in Mexico. She can tell me where to go. Really nice restaurants. Of course, if you're an American and you want your McDonald's, your Burger King, Subway, we'll pass those too. So yeah, let's go down here. Check it out. Now, one of the other cool things about this book fair is that every now and again I'll walk by and you'll hear somebody maybe on a microphone giving a talk. They give authors who've just published books a chance to talk to the public about their book. And you can go and sit there and listen to the author. So, that's too big of a drop for me. All right, so we all know that I've got problems walking because, well, one, I'm old, two, I have a condition. So let's take the nice ramp. All right. People trying to sell snacks and stuff. It's all good. But yeah, fortune cookies. But yeah, a lot of books. On every subject you can imagine. They've got pop culture, they've got history, they've got stuff for kids. You'll find art, you'll find all that stuff. But yeah, it's nice to bring the kids down here if you're our parent. They got teen stuff, horror, all the different presses are here that are in Mexico. But like I said, I could stop and look at them. I would know some books by their cover. I do have a degree in literature. That's my undergraduate degree. I was an English teacher and a literature teacher, so I can recognize most books. But as far as reading them in Spanish, that's not going to happen. Oh, we got. There we go. You got your comic books, but they are also in Spanish. You know, I just realized something. My wife is off at the post office mailing stuff. She's going to be a while. I don't know. Oh, disculpa, con permiso. I have no idea how she's going to find me. So, whoops, forgot about that. So that ought to be interesting. But you can see you get all sorts of philosophy, and of course here you get all the philosophy. There is a lot of socialism, things like that, taught in the schools. It is the way that it is. Oh, here's one of the things where the authors are talking. Earlier, there was an author talking, and she was promoting her book on feminism. It was just kind of, my wife was translating the words for me. But so that was interesting. I guess I'm a member of the patriarchy. I just kind of smiled and waved. I don't know. I don't know. But not my kind of literature, but hey, hopefully she sells some books. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. And then, yes, it continues. Two different ways. Penguin. Yeah, Penguin's here. Penguin. A lot of Nazi stuff, Hitler stuff. They have a fascination with that. Anne Rice. Hey, there you go. Stephen King. A lot of Stephen King, Anne Rice. The same popular authors you'd get anywhere else. But yeah, it's just a cool little thing. They set the whole up. It's all free. Promote reading. Which, you know, I was a nerd. What can I say? I was a nerd. I used to love my summer reading list. You know, every summer in high school or middle school. I love books. Can't have too many books here because we moved from the United States. Books are heavy, so I had to sell my entire library. So I only have a few books on my shelf that I'm able to bring back. And no, I haven't found an English bookstore in Puebla yet. I think there's one in Mexico City, but I have to figure out where that is. Yeah, and the books are cheap. Everything down here is, well, not everything. I shouldn't say everything. Not everything. Oh, see, look, mystery book. You don't know what kind of book you're getting. For 80 pesos, you don't know what you're getting. It's all nice and wrapped. That's cool. You know, we'll probably come back here. Yeah, mystery books up for 160 pesos. Basically $4 and $8. All right, and we just emerged on the other side, and again, here we go, the bookstore. Books, 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 books. And there's the front of the cathedral over there, but we'll get there. And it just continues. So let's go to the cathedral. And if we go in the cathedral, I gotta be really quiet, because the place has always got people in there praying, which, hey, I'm a Catholic. I understand. I get it. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Now, the one thing I will say, there are a lot of protests in Mexico City and in Puebla. Here's one. Now, you see that building right there with the orange bricks, kind of horizontal. That's the post office. That's where my wife is, so who knows. All the restaurants, things like that. People live up there too as well, hotels. The one thing I'll say, they have a lot of protests. And when they have the protests for female rights, for women's rights, they don't protect, the government doesn't protect the cathedral. And the protest will come down here, and this ancient cathedral, beautiful thing, will get graffitied, beat up, all that. Which I think is a shame. I never understood the idea of how do you get your point across by desecrating someone else's religion, but hey, that's just me. All right, here we go. So you got the square here. Pretty cool. Now that's the post office, like I said, but then further down, it's sort of like that cultural center. You can go in there, it'll tell you everything's going on in the city, museums and things like that. Oh yeah, by the way, all these buildings, there are hidden museums within the building. You know, we once wandered into a building and it had a museum dedicated to scientific equipment over the centuries. like old test tubes and things like. It was weird. Old medical equipment, electroshock therapy machines. It was weird, but it was fascinating, but weird. All right, so we're going to be very respectful when we go in here, because I don't want to upset anybody's religion. But as you can see, now this is my favorite cathedral in all of Mexico. My second one being the National Cathedral, or the cathedral in the Zocalo of Mexico City. And you'll see why. But, all right. Yeah, let this guy take his picture. All right, we're going in. I'm going to be very, very quiet. Looks like they're giving a tour or something. This is just the beginning. Here we go. Oh, the TV's playing. Give you a history of it. Now, before we round the corner, what I will tell you is that you see all these closed doors. These are private chapels. Well, that one's a little bit of a gift shop now. These are private chapels. They don't open these up to the public except for once a year. If you're rich, you can have your funeral or your wedding in one of these chapels. The artwork inside is worth lots of money. This one's going to be a little dark to see, but all right. But yes, huge paintings, huge ass paintings. All right, and then here's one side of the cathedral. Ready? All the way up there, the organ. You can see the organ there. That's part of the organ. That's only part of the organ. I've been in once where they played it. It was crazy. Oh, just got told to take off my hat. Why? Because that's disrespectful. All the paintings, these paintings are ancient. Now, some of them are copies because the originals have been stolen. There's a side entrance. We still haven't even gotten to the front. We'll get to the front in a second. I'm going to trip over and fall on something. I'm telling you, I'm going to make a racket. I'm going to be that guy. Okay. Now, you're usually not allowed up in there. That's where the choir and the organ is. And you can just imagine how loud it is. And then here's the, I guess, the basilica or whatever you want to call it. It's crazy, intricate, and insane. We'll try to get closer without getting in trouble. I don't know if I'm supposed to be filming in here, but okay. Statues of popes and saints. Thing's gorgeous. I mean, as far as artwork is concerned, whether you're a religious person or not, it's gorgeous. Stuff's worth tons of money. I hate it when my sneakers squeak in quiet places. Yes. The tile work up there, the artwork up there. Oh, Archangel Michael. One of my favorites. All right, where do you see this piece of art? Yeah. Oops, excuse me. Here we go. Ready? All the way up there, all the way painted up there. That's insane. On the sides and everything. Represent kings. Those are kings. I think Spanish kings. because, well, I mean, they did colonize Mexico. That's why this is here. And the other side, all the way down. So, I mean, you can imagine like, having your wedding in here. That'd be crazy. They opened one. They actually opened one. This is the first time it's ever been opened. I'm not going to go inside because people are praying. And I want to be respectful. But yes, you can see that thing in the middle of that cross with the little circle that has a piece of a saint in it. What saint? There's so many saints now. You know, some of the churches you walk in and they got like the preserved dead bodies of saints. They're creepy. They're very creepy. Oop, baptismal. Another side entrance, another huge painting. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous cathedral. All right, we'll go in. We'll go out the way we came in. So yes, when I usually am down here at Zocalo, I will spend about 20, 30 minutes in here. I am religious, if that bothers people, sorry, I don't try to push it. But I do love the architecture. When it comes to religion, they have some of the best art and architecture. So that's really cool to see. And but I do spend 20, 30 minutes down here when I can. It's a very peaceful place. Just because where we moved, there's not a church near us. That's the one thing I did notice, that there's not a church near us. Because we live in a community, it's a non-denominational, non-building. So you can go in there and people are practicing Catholicism, Judaism. I've seen people praying to Mecca. I've seen, here we go, back up. I've seen Buddhists meditating. So I'm like, all right, well, it's not a church for me, but it's nice. So they offer it. It's cool. All right, we're back outside. Now we can talk with a normal voice. Okay, we're gonna go out through the corner. But one more time, just see, they covered the statues because they were gonna get graffitied or torn down. The bells do toll. Christmas Eve and the Day of the Dead, they do light this place up pretty good. It's quite interesting. So definitely looking forward to Day of the Dead again this year. That's always fun. So we'll go out this corner way. But yeah, I think they really, I mean, protesting, I don't mind protest, don't get me wrong. Don't mind protest. I mind the graffiti of buildings that are 200, 300, 400 years old. I mean, they were here before you, they're going to be here after you. They've survived earthquakes and volcanoes. They don't need your graffiti. They don't need your graffiti. All right. Okay, one of my favorite things in Mexico. All right, so I'm a food junkie. I used to be really fat. I lost weight, so I'm only kind of fat. I'm old. I've earned it, okay? Raised 2 kids, all that. Put them through college. I've earned it. I can have my dad mod. So, if you're coming down here for ice cream, or helado, there's a bunch of choices. My favorite choice, well, I have 2 favorite choices. First one, and this is not an advertisement, they're not paying me to say this, because I have no advertisements. All right, you'll see them all over the place. Santa Clara. All right, with the little cow symbol over there. We'll walk across here while we can. Cars will edge up on you. They don't care about walk symbols. Aha, Santa Clara, good ice cream. That's good ice cream. Now there's even Sears down here because Sears is owned by Carlos Slim, probably the richest guy in Mexico, one of the richest guys in the world. So if I go down that way, there's a Sears, which they don't really exist anymore in the United States. There's even a Woolworths down here, believe it or not. There's a Woolworths from the 1950s. So, but anyways, here's a better view of the church. All right, we're gonna go back through the Zocalo. Just gotta wait for that walk signal. You see this person? They're trying to drive through here. They're like, no, you can't. This is closed off, buddy. Closed off. All right. Oh, by the way, it is closer to the equator. I know that sounds pretty obvious, right? But sunscreen, if you have fair skin, you will get burnt and burnt fast. All right. See, gelato. I don't like these gelatos, these little machines. Doesn't come out right. Coffee shops, a lot of cafes, a lot of coffee shops. With the food, pizza. That's something, you know what, they don't get pizza right down here. They don't know how to make the crust. They don't know how to make the sauce. You could order Little Caesars or Domino's, but it's not going to be the same. Shoes, big deal in Mexico. There are shoe stores everywhere. Shoes are a big deal. Guy hanging out, playing a violin, trying to make some coin. Hey, we all got a side hustle, right? The Dulceria, which is candy. Not my favorite candy place. Huh? You want some burritos, some tacos, some El Pastor? There you go. The Italian Coffee Company. They have Starbucks down here, so you could have the Italian Coffee Company, but not a big fan of the Italian Coffee Company. A lot of money for the taste is not right to me. So I like to stick to my old Mexican cafes, you know, traditional family-owned cafes. It's awesome. And if I feel like I gotta go to Starbucks, and Starbucks is like a third of the price down here than it is in the United States. You closed off the streets down that way. And we were just down that way, but here we go, under the arches. And you'll see, if you're an American, you got some comforts. But here's our salon. Now you can all eat right here. All this is for the restaurants. And we eat down here quite a bit. Whenever we are down here, we do eat down here. There's soup, jewelry. A lot of jewelry because a lot of silver down here. You can't actually, here's one thing. I said to myself, I could mail silver to the United States. Sell jewelry. They got all sorts of nice jewelry and everything. Telcel. Oh, by the way, Telcel. That is the company owned by Carlos Slim. That's the telephone company down here for cell phones. Oh, this thing right here. Taco Arabi. Here we go. If you're in the Zocalo, you come down here. It's El Pastor Arabian style. Delicious. Love it. Love it. Especially in a Samita. So yeah, Telcel is really what you're going to have. You want a Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. big down here. Not really big in the Carl's Jr. Fish. You want some fish? Yeah. I mean, it's warm, but it's not. You're under here, so it's nice. These guys, they're just trying to get you to sit down and eat. More Telcel. Subway. You want your Subway? Don't expect your regular American Subway. Like if you go there for like roast beef, then I gotta know what you mean. You're lucky you get turkey. You get your Mexicanized, Latinoized Subway. Not that it's bad, it's good. All right. Little newsstands here. And we're gonna go down there in a second, but first I wanna show you this. So this road is just a very busy road, very busy. You can't drive down that way. A lot of shops and stuff, stop, get ice cream. Just leads down to the other streets. Another church down there. We are in Mexico. There's churches everywhere. All right. Ooh. Volkswagen. Volkswagen is got their headquarters in Central America, right here in Puebla. So lots of Volkswagens. Lots of Volkswagens. All right, a lot of people here are probably employed by Volkswagen. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing? Everybody down here is friendly. That's the thing, people are like, oh, with your president doing what he's doing, they're gonna hate you. I mean, even my own brother said that. He's like, I ain't gonna travel down there to see you. They hate Americans. No, they don't. This guy, my wife always buys candy from him, help him out. He's always trying to make a little bit of money for his daughter, who is sick. So yes, so when I come by again with my wife, she'll buy a ton of candy from him. What am I gonna do, argue? But yeah, everybody down here is friendly. Yeah, you gotta have a backpack or something like that that's pickpocket proof, which I'm wearing one, right? So, all right, there's more candy. So see that thing says OXO? OXO, you're probably getting those in the United States now, right next to the Domino's. See, I thought it, OXO is basically their 7-Eleven. There is an OXO. If you sneeze, whatever direction you sneeze in, you're probably sneezing on an OXO. I mean, there are that many. Again, nice restaurants to sit. People will sit here for hours, having a snack, drinking a coffee, just relaxing, chilling. And we have some construction going on. Ah, there we go. McDonald's, which I love McDonald's, okay? All right, 99 pesos for your McTrio, you know? Basically, if you want your Big Mac, okay, if I want a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke, I'm paying $5 American. That's it. I don't know what you guys are paying in the United States, but I'm sure it's not $5 American. I'm sure. Oh, this is cool. So it's another entranceway. Sorry about the police, but they have construction. Some more shops and hotels. Yep. See how far we've walked. Oh, they're going to be doing, okay, so they always have right here, this is like a museum. They got it closed off right now and covered because they're changing the exhibit. But they also have a theater here, and most of the time it's free. Whatever they're doing, right? Now, granted, I can't go see, I mean, I can. I'm not going to stand a theater play in Spanish, but, you know, it's cool. All right, I'm not going to film the cops because they don't like being filmed, but they're guarding the governor's entranceway there. But yeah, the things are free. A lot of the museums are free. Every now and again you run into one, they want 5 pesos from you, that's it. But most of the museums, and there's hundreds of museums throughout Mexico City and Puebla and the other cities, and they're free. You just walk in, sign in, say this is your name, this is what time you entered, that's what time you exited. Here, free. Come in here and figure out what you want to do in Puebla. All right, that's Santander. That's the bank I use. Why? Because it's the best ATMs that allow you to reject the bank issued currency exchange in favor of the real world one, which is you get a lot more money for your dollar if you use the real world one. So it allows you, so we use Santander if I have to use an ATM. This is state government right here, this building. That's actually the Secretary of State's office. But you go in and there's a free museum to walk into here. And they don't allow filming, but so I won't go in, but it's just like a cultural museum to go in there and hang out. All right, now I gotta wait to walk because I don't want to get run over. People will not wait for you. If you decide to walk and they're driving, good luck. So, but then again, I lived in Boston, New York, Houston, Chicago, San Francisco, and LA. If I can survive those. Oh, Detroit too, for a brief period. So if I can survive those, see Italian Coffee Company again. If I can survive those, I can walk across the street in Puebla. Hello, horns. You're gonna hear a lot of horns in Mexico. People love using their horns. They love telling you things with their horns. So, yep, there's the Burger King. They just opened a Burger King down here. Cochino Poblano. So yeah, they have the menus out so you can see. There's your Burger King if you're an American. Vitoro's is sort of like an Italian-Mexican place. It's actually decent. We've actually had the pizza here. You get to sit over here and have the pizza. They're really nice. Oh, La Churia. You want your churros? Delicious churros. More Santa Clara. Again, best ice cream. And then there is this. There's this Italian restaurant that we come to every now and again right down here. It's actually run by a guy from Italy. He actually moved here. And it's really good pizza. Really good pasta and everything like that. Sit down, take out, whatever you want, but I've eaten there many times. It's delicious. All right, the further you go down there, you can get to the bus. Get to the bus down there. Down there, there's more parks, open spaces for markets, antique markets, which one Saturday, maybe this Saturday, we'll do a live stream from that antique market. Me and my wife, she loves antiques. Anything with antiques, I've lost her. Just lost her. Speaking of my wife, I should probably go find her. Oh, I'm gonna get run over. A lot of taxis. We use Ubers. Ubers are cheaper than taxis. So don't be afraid to use an Uber here. Ubers are safe. Never had a problem. It's actually when I've used taxis in Mexico City is when I've been ripped off and scammed. An Uber never scammed me. So, I'll walk back down here. I haven't seen the barefoot guy. I saw him earlier. By that, what I mean is this large, bald, white dude. Walks around in a very tight black tank top, Daisy Duke black shorts, and barefoot. That's what he does. He just walks around the Zocalo. I'm not sure what he does or why he does it. But apparently he's like the friendliest guy in the world. And if you stop to talk to him, he knows every little bit of Puebla history. Like if you point to a building, he can tell you the history of that building. It's crazy. So anyways, I haven't seen him. Maybe he's taking a break. I can't imagine walking on hot concrete with bare feet every day. I guess you get used to it, right? Let's see here. Back to the bookstore or book fair. Yeah, that sun is hot. That sun is hot. No problem, buddy. But as you can see, people are just chilling. Hi, guy. People just chilling, relaxing. This is it. It's a relaxing way of life. You don't get this. At least I never got this in the United States. In any city I ever lived in, everything was just so rushed. Have you noticed anybody rushing, running? I'm in a hurry to get to there. I'm in a hurry. No, that doesn't happen. Does not happen. So, but yeah. All right, we're gonna go back this way, and I'm gonna go find my wife because I don't want to lose my wife. She's probably still in the post office. Because, well, if you're going to mail something in Mexico, you can't just like mail it. It has to be inspected. And so she's got an online business. So she's mailing packages. So everything she's got to do, she's got to package everything there. So if she's had a good week of sales, she's there just packing stuff for 2-3 hours because they have to inspect it. They have to see inside. You have to show it to them. Weighed, all that stuff. There's all sorts of rules. So, if you are going to mail something from Mexico to the United States, there are a lot of rules to follow. And see, that's it. We walked the whole Zocalo. There's the cathedral once again. And we're going to go back down to the post office. But with that, just, just a fun day in Puebla. I'll be live later on today. I got to finish a video. My video I was working on last night, because you guys know I do comic books. Or videos on comic books. My computer crashed. I lost 12 hours worth of work. Literally, I wanted to cry. So I stayed up knowing that, I didn't want to miss a week with the comic book not being out. So I stayed up till about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, getting what I could done. So I'll go home and finish that. We'll go live. We're going to play some DC Universe tonight and have a blast. But with that, I'm still your reluctant gringo, everybody. From Puebla, Mexico, from the Zocalo. Salud, a huevo. I hope everybody has an awesome 4th of July in the United States. I miss y'all. God bless America. And maybe I'll be back someday. We'll never know. You never know. All right, people, we out.